And what Green Slate does is they focus on programs for ex-offenders, including reentry programs, feeding the families of Inglewood. They have a Kirby's Kids Camp, and they also offer community service programs through the Circuit Court of Cook County. And also, there's a new initiative that Green Slate has undertaken. It's called the Green Slate Institute for Justice. And what the Institute for Justice is looking into protecting the due process and equal protection for all persons, including ex-offenders. So let's get started with Representative Ford. Representative Ford, perhaps you can tell our viewers a little bit about yourself.
Well, you know what, Jen, I'm very happy to be here, especially on, what is it, Green Slate?
Green Slate.
Because one of the first initiatives that I took on when I went to Springfield was for the formerly incarcerated to ban the box. Back in 2007, my first bill that I passed in Springfield was ban the box.
Well, hold on. I'm going to put in a plug because on one of my first shows, we went through expungement and sealing, and we also went through the ban the box legislation. Thank you, Representative Ford. I'm sorry to cut you off. Go ahead.
And since then, I've worked on things like sealing of records. So I was happy to be working with community groups to expand the records that are eligible for sealing, like felonies. Before we expanded the sealing law, only misdemeanors, some misdemeanors could be sealed. Now we've expanded it where class 3s, 4s, and recently working with community groups and Representative Lilly, we've expanded it even further to seal class 2s and other 3s and 4s. So, you know, it's an honor to be on Green Slate with you because I really believe that in this country, one of the #1 issues that we are facing is the right for people that are formerly incarcerated to re-enter into society and live a productive life. They've been blocked. It's sort of like a wall up, keeping them out of the right to live a normal life.
The pursuit of happiness, especially if you don't have a job to support your family because there's a box on an application form and you can't get a job. If you can't get a job, you can't get a house. If you can't get a house, how are you going to support your children?
Yeah, and, you know, I just don't understand, even if a person has a felony and they are reformed in this country, why can't they be productive? You know, I think that now that we're working with what you call immigration reform, the very people that we want to give a pathway to citizenship, they've also broken the law, and we're looking for a pathway for them to enter and to be productive citizens. We have to do that with our very own citizens in this country and give them a way back because we're holding out a lot of very talented people.
Well, let me turn to the One Summer Chicago. This is Rahm Emanuel's program designed to reduce the violence in Chicago. And from my perspective, and I know last week if you were tuning in, one of my clients and dear friends, Robert Cooley, passed away in the July 4th violence, where 100 Chicago residents were killed senselessly and just random acts of violence. We're losing too many members of our city to this One Summer Chicago. I call it 100 Summer Chicago in I guess mocking the 100 deaths. And it was on the middle of, July 4th? It wasn't even the middle of summer, and there's 100 people killed on one weekend. And I know that's a problem all over the city. And Representative Ford, can you tell our audience here what your district is doing to combat the senseless violence that's just tearing apart families?
Well, you know, we do everything we can to bring stakeholders together. And one thing we did recently as a representative, we passed a budget, and now we're getting funds back to these community groups like Ceasefire, like the health providers, so that they could provide the behavioral health services to the community, because we know hurt people hurt others. And so now we're able to get the funds back to the streets. Now that the budget has been passed and we're going to pay down some of the bills, we're going to be able to fund Ceasefire. Ceasefire will be able to interrupt a lot of the violence that's happening. And so on the west side in Austin, we're doing everything to connect people with employment through the One Chicago program, because the program is for residents between the ages of 14 and 24. And I have to give credit to the city for putting together these partnerships, and it's all about collaboration. And so what the city has done, they've put together the parks, the schools, CPS, the libraries, and businesses alike to hire young people ages 14 through 24. And anytime you can get idle minds thinking about something, you're going to find more productivity in those neighborhoods, fewer people on the street, violence goes down.
Well, I'm going to take you to task here. Don't get mad at me, Representative. But is the answer really just throwing money at different community groups? Isn't this a much broader program?
That's why I think it is broader. We have to make sure that we fund education properly, and we have to educate children from the cradle to on up. So we have to make sure children have responsible parents, and parents have the ability to raise their children with a decent income. So once a family is behind, it hurts the entire family. I mean, so when a mother has the inability to raise their children with the resources that they need, or the mother is a victim of a failed school system, you're going to have generations of people that it's hurt. And so that's what you're going to see. You have young parents having that's not as educated as they should be, who's almost probably not employable in today's technical world. And so now society has failed them, and it's all about making sure that we do everything to have a quality public education in this state.
Fantastic. Do we have a caller? All right, I thought we had a caller. But remember, this is a live interactive program, and you're more than welcome to call in and give your questions and comments as to State Representative Ford. Perhaps you can tell us what, oh wait, I think we do have a caller. Caller, can you hear us? No caller. Back to you, Representative Ford. What kind of, oh, do we have a caller? I cannot hear the caller.
I hear it, but I don't.
Hello?
Oh, there you go. Hello?
Yes, and good evening, and thank you also for taking the call. You know, the more people you hear talking about our judicial system, it seems like something is totally wrong. You know, there's people that steady, you see it every time on news, people didn't do the crime and find out they didn't do it and they're releasing them from prison. Then there's people who probably have died in prison and possibility they didn't do the crime. So there's something wrong. And then with the people maybe who have served time and come home, it seems like they should have a second chance in life. I mean, what's wrong with a second chance in life? But again, our constitutional maybe need to be tweaked. You remember, these things have been done hundreds of years prior. And sometimes what used to happen 100 years ago, it don't fit right now in the year 2017. So again, I think there's many things that we need to look at. But again, you know what? We just people. We put up people in offices to do things, but we know politics is run a little bit different, people who lobby things. So, I mean, just small people is very hard. And like I say, here's a person that will be in jail for a traffic violation and be there for 4 or 5 months. Man come in with a gun, and he's out as soon as he posts bond. It's just something that's wrong. But again, thank you for taking the call. Again, I'm not the smartest pencil in the drawer, but sometimes common sense need to take hold to something. Again, thank you for taking call. Let me get out there so I can hear a response.
Yeah.
Well spoken. Yeah. Believe it or not, there's a body of constitutional law that looks at what the founding fathers would determine if they were alive today. But mainly in the Constitution, those are founding principles, that people should be treated equally. People should have the right to be confronted by their accusers. These principles are enduring and timeless. So I don't know necessarily if we need to look at what the founding fathers would have said during the time, because the principles endure regardless of the time that they're in. Representative Ford, your thoughts?
You know, I think that it's just as simple as being compassionate and recognizing that we can't be cut our nose off to spite our face. We've seen this so many years. This is nothing new in society where we keep men and women that are reformed, that have paid their debt to society, being held back forever. And when I say forever, that means for their entire life, where they're going to be being held back because they committed a crime maybe when they were early adults, 18, 19 years old, and people right now, 30, 40 years old, have been held back. And so that's called being sentenced to life in this country, and that's unfortunate.
Well, I agree with our caller on that. I believe we all deserve redemption. Before we go on, let me just remind our viewers here that you're watching CAN TV, channel 19 and 21, and cantv.org hotline. And today's discussion is with State Representative LaShawn Ford from the 12th District. And please call in and join the discussion. The number appears at the bottom of your screen. Did we have another caller? I guess our caller hung up. Oh, yes, we do. Hello, caller?
Hi, Jan.
Yes?
Jan, can you hear me? Is that the state rep? Because I can't see you guys because I'm stuck in traffic.
Oh.
But I wanted to say hello to the state rep. How are you, sir?
Very good. And how did you access this in traffic? That's news.
Actually, I'm coming from your area. I think, are you on Springfield, Pulaski, and Lake? Is that your area?
Yeah, but I'm over in the Austin area. That's my area. But I think this is important for listeners, viewers to know that we can listen to this show as well.
Oh, sure. I'm listening on my phone as I approach that. But state rep, let me hit on one thing real quick because I want you all to really get some more callers in. We lost a young man named Robert Cooley, and Jan, I want you to do this. This will be the testimony to Robert Cooley, and so State Rep can learn who Robert was, because State Rep, what we wanted you to do down in Springfield for us, for Robert, is let's put some type of bill together. If you get killed in the streets, the person who killed you, if they have any type of access, like jobs, good jobs, family got monies or something like that, you can sue that estate, or that estate have to pay you some kind of money. That is not happening. We need to bury our kids. And in some cases, we can sue some of these families of these people. I want you to just think about that. Maybe this is not the place or the time to do it. But, Jan, let's see if we can get the state rep together for a meal and see if we can talk about something like that in Robert Cooley's name.
Robert Cooley was actually a client.
Tell him about the person you met, or the person at least you talked about. You talked to. You never met him, Jim, but you talked to him. And I thank you for letting me come in.
Yes, Robert Cooley was a client of mine, and he was one of those 100 men that were senselessly killed over the July 4th weekend, leaving, I believe, 2 children, or was it 3? Ziv?
Two children.
2 children, and they're little ones, too. It was just a senseless act, and the children are just devastated, the whole family. And it was just a random act of violence. We have to stop it, and that's why I'm looking forward to State Representative Ford. Do you have any ideas other than just funding community groups?
Well, you know what, like you said, I think, and you're right, you can't just throw good money after problems. I think that we have to, first of all, make sure that people learn to respect one another, and we have to eliminate racism and biases, and make sure that we see each other as our brothers and sisters, as our brothers' keepers, because otherwise you're going to continue to have destruction in the community. I mean, I have a real good feeling from the moment I met you, and I really appreciate your good heart, and I know you have a good heart, and I appreciate that, and we all have to share that same attitude, and I hope I have a good heart towards you as well.
Well, I'm sure you do, Representative. We appreciate you. I understand that we're coming up on an election year?
Yes.
Yes, and are you running for re-election?
I am running for election, and I think this is your person.
Yes, that's Robert.
To give
that's Robert Cooley.
Yeah. And so I'm running for election. This would be, I think the primary election, I'll be on the ballot hopefully with during this big race that they're saying might be about $300 million spent on the governor's race.
Wow.
But I'll be a down ballot running for my 6th or 7th term.
Wow.
And I look forward to continuing to serve the 8th district during these most difficult
Well,
times.
I'm sorry, I said it was the 12th. It's the 8th district, viewers. I'm sorry, 8th district.
Yes.
Can you tell our viewers something about what's going on in the 8th district these days?
Well, I tell you, we're going to have on the 18th, July 18th is Mandela's birthday. And together we've teamed up, we've named Cicero, parts of Cicero, Nelson Mandela. And so July 18th, we're going to have a stand for Peace Day with Westside Health Authority, SSA 72 Chicago Avenue as an organization, and Zerlina Smith and the Democracy for America. We're going to do a press conference to call for peace on the West Side. We're going to do that on the 18th. On the August 26th, we're going to have a march through the West Side for peace. And I have to tell you, there were lots of shootings on Central and Lake. And since our office, Zerlina Smith, who is my community coordinator, we've been out there for 14 weeks straight. That corner, we've gotten all of the businesses together, the community people. We barbecue every Wednesday.
I did not get my invite, but I'm sure I will.
Yes, and so since then, there's been zero violence on Central and Lake, and we're very happy to say that the hard work of Zerlina Smith and all of the community organizations, Institute for, I'm bad with names, but I'm not looking at, but lots of different organizations have been out there supporting this effort.
Well, that's clearly a successful effort. How do we replicate this throughout the city?
You know, I tell you, we do it now for the second week on Laramie and Lake as well. These are some busy corners, and we want to make sure that we have people recognizing that there are people supporting them when times are difficult. And so we use our office to support the community as best as we can.
And where is the office?
My office is where we provide services 4800 West Chicago Avenue, and that's where we are going to have the Mandela celebration on his birthday, July 18th at 10:30.
And can you give our viewers your office phone number to
Yes.
call in with comments and questions?
That'd be great, Jen. So 773-378-5902 is our phone number, 773-378-5902. And every day we send daily job leads to individuals. So if you're looking for work, if you're unemployed or underemployed, or just want to start a new career, go to LaShawnFord.com and add your email, and we will be sure to send you job leads every day.
Well, if I'm an employer and I've got, for instance, I need a sales clerk job or a handyman or someone to help me just bag groceries, how do I get on the LaShawn Ford website?
That's exactly how our website and our daily job leads have grown, because people send us their leads every day, and we add them to our list of thousands of emails, and we post it on Facebook, we go through Twitter. And so if you email it to repford@LaShawnFord.com, as long as there's no fee involved, we will post it for you. We don't post things that cost the community. Everything has to be free of charge for individuals. So if you have jobs that you want posted, if Green Slate has events that they would like to be posted, we're happy to add it to our list and send it out. And we almost guarantee you that you'll get some extra attendees.
Well, for instance, suppose I just need my windows washed or my car washed. Can I put an ad on your website as well?
You know what? Yes. You know what? I do believe those are jobs that people, you could create. And and because Green Slate, it's clear that it's almost difficult for anyone to become a multimillionaire, billionaire working for somebody, but you can if you create your own business. And so I encourage people with backgrounds to, every season is a season of opportunity. You know, this summer, people could cut grass, like you said, wash windows, wash cars, you know, and just keep the neighborhoods clean. Those are jobs that people could get up every day to do. And when the fall comes, more job opportunities, leads,
Late-breaking.
you know, and just so many opportunities in this great country.
Well, let me ask you the difficult question.
Yes.
I have been on the west side, believe it or not, on occasion, and it's kind of strange. Like, I will see a squad car 2 blocks up. I will see a squad car 2 blocks the other way, and right in the middle are 3 or 4 gentlemen that are just enjoying the fresh air on the corner there. And for whatever reason, the police officers don't seem inclined to stop by and say hi. So I'm wondering if you have any the community has any assistance from law enforcement.
You know, in the 15th district and throughout the city, I know that it's very difficult for the law enforcement agencies to patrol every corner. And so I sympathize with that, and I know that because of the recent lawsuits, the Chicago police especially seems they've toned down their policing. And so they would say that because of them not being able to perform their duties the way they want to, they're changing their tactics.
Apparently they decide to come late if there might be an incident just to avoid stray gunshots, or so I've been told. Is that your experience in your district?
You know, what I have to say is the response time is very, very slow. And for the last few years, I've passed resolution urging the Inspector General from the city to investigate the response times on the west side, in the city, the south and west sides of Chicago, where black people live, and especially where black people live, but also where other minority groups live, especially Hispanics. So I do know for a fact that the response time is not the same as it would be in Lincoln Park, and that's totally unfair.
That's unacceptable.
And that's right.
That's just unacceptable.
Right, and we know that it's a problem. I've been fighting that for a very long time. So
keep up the fight.
But I still have to thank those police that will respond to calls when there are bullets being shot. We do have a lot of police that put aside their differences as it relates to being racist or whatever it may be. When they hear gunshots, I do believe that they forget about all of that and they go to the rescue for the most part.
All right, let me ask you another difficult question. Where do you stand on gun control? Are you for removing all guns from the street, or are you for the Texas approach, which is giving everyone a gun?
Well, you know, I'm for doing everything that we can to eliminate the flow of illegal guns into the streets, to make it more difficult for individuals that are criminals to get these guns. It seems to me that it's too easy. I've also worked with the rail cars, because we know that it's so easy for individuals to, what they call, hit the freights and take guns off the freight trains and distribute them on the street corners. So I've been a resolution urging Congress to tighten up the rules on the way freight trains carry guns throughout the states. I mean, there's no, I never understood how a person could hit a freight train and know which car to hit to get the guns.
That's a good point. I wouldn't know either.
You know, so I think that we need to do everything we can to figure out how we can build a wall to stop the guns, the illegal guns, from hitting the streets. And I think that would help. But to constantly have illegal guns hitting the streets in communities where violence is high, that's the #1 problem. I think that anyone that wants to have a gun should be able to legally carry, conceal carry. But for guns to be so easily attained in this country seems to me that it is a part of a plan to destroy people.
Representative, before we conclude, any last words for our viewers?
All I have to say is we have to do everything we can to get involved and make government work for us. We have to make sure that we do everything to make government work for us.
And vote for Representative Ford in the March 2018 primary. And thank you for watching and participating in today's show. I'm Jan Kowalski with Green Slate, and my guest tonight has been State Representative LaShawn Ford. And thank you,
For
joining us. And thank you, and good night.